When you think of America's most notorious serial killers, names like Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer probably come to mind. Their stories have been told and retold, their faces splashed across headlines and documentaries. But there's another name, one that's just as chilling yet often overlooked: Gary Ridgway, the man who would become known as the Green River Killer. For decades, Ridgway's crimes cast a long, dark shadow over Seattle and its surrounding communities. The city, known for its rainy weather and vibrant culture, became the backdrop for a terrifying mystery that would haunt residents for years. The fear was palpable. People locked their doors, watched their backs, and wondered if the killer was someone they knew. To understand how Ridgway evaded capture for so long, it helps to look at where he came from. Gary Ridgway grew up in the quiet suburbs of Seattle, in a neighborhood that seemed safe and ordinary. He was the middle child in a working-class family, and by all outward appearances, his early life was unremarkable. As an adult, Ridgway blended in perfectly with his surroundings. He worked as a truck painter for decades, earning a reputation as a reliable employee. He was married multiple times and even had a son. Neighbors described him as quiet, polite, and unassuming, the kind of man you'd never suspect of harboring a deadly secret. But beneath this facade, Ridgway was living a double life. He was consumed by a dark obsession that he managed to keep hidden from everyone around him. While he appeared to be just another hard-working family man, he was secretly plotting and carrying out a series of horrific crimes. In the early 1980s, a disturbing pattern began to emerge in Seattle. Young women, many of them sex workers or runaways struggling to survive, started disappearing from the city's streets. Their families were left desperate for answers, and the community grew increasingly anxious as the number of missing women continued to rise. Eventually, the bodies of these women began to surface in the dense woods and along the banks of the Green River, just outside the city. The police were overwhelmed by the sheer number of victims and the lack of solid evidence. Each new discovery brought more heartbreak, but also more questions. Who was responsible and why couldn't he be stopped? Ridgway was actually on the police's radar more than once. He was questioned several times and even subjected to a polygraph test, which he managed to pass. His calm demeanor and ability to blend in allowed him to slip through the cracks, while the investigation dragged on for years with little progress. It wasn't until 2001, nearly 2 decades after the first murders, that advances in DNA technology finally provided the breakthrough investigators needed. Evidence collected from the crime scenes was re-examined, and the results pointed directly to Ridgway. He was arrested, and the truth about his double life began to unravel. In custody, Ridgway confessed to killing at least 48 women, making him one of the most prolific serial killers in American history. But he hinted that the real number was much higher, possibly over 80.